Our next guest has a unique way of looking at life, and we had the honor of hearing all about it when she came in years ago to help us avoid getting stuck in the onesies.
That was her first book, but now Diana McDonough is back with the sequel, My Mother's Apprentice. And might I add, it's an award-winning sequel. We're welcoming Diana back to DeMarvel Life. Congratulations!
Thank you, Katie.
So it won a bronze medal from the Florida Authors and Publishers Association.
Yes, I did.
How'd that feel?
Exciting. Oh, awesome. I was there last weekend. It was quite an honor.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right, so give us a real quick recap of Stuck in the Onesies.
All right, Stuck in the Onesies, if you've ever played Jackson, even if you haven't, means if you get stuck in the onesies on your first turn, you're forever trying to catch up. So that's the metaphor that follows the characters through the book. The book's actually based on my mom, loosely. Back in the 1960s, Washington, D.C., when civil rights, women's rights, and Vietnam War first bubbled up to the surface. So if you lived back in those times, and even if you didn't, you know that things were pretty crazy, and living in the suburbs of D.C. at the time, we were subject to a whole lot of things that a lot of people probably never even thought about.
And now, you have My Mother's Apprentice.
I certainly do.
Tell us about this.
Well, My Mother's Apprentice is the sequel. When I wrote Stuck in the Onesies, I didn't plan on writing a sequel. So the readers read Stuck in the Onesies and wanted more, so I shoved the other book aside I was working on and started My Mother's Apprentice. Doing that book, I discovered that, hey, we're all our mother's apprentice to some degree or another, whether we want to admit it or not. But so it was a lot of fun doing that. Stuck in the Onesies kind of painted me in a corner. So because I had ended it not knowing I was going to do a sequel. So when I started My Mother's Apprentice, I had to start before Onesies ended. So if you've read Stuck in the Onesies, you'll get to pick up on some of the old characters in the book and follow through.
Is it at all nerve-wracking to write a sequel?
Oh my goodness, yes. It was, like I said, I was kind of painted in a corner. I may have ended things differently had I known I was going to do a sequel. So I had to go back. And again, it's based loosely on truth and has a little bit of a spiritual undertone towards the end, but it deals with addiction and a lot of things that most families have gone through. Addiction touches all of us in one way or another.
So what do you want them to take from this book?
I want them to take from that book that you can be polar opposites and still best friends, honor each other's views. And today in social media, I didn't even know that when I was writing this book that it was going to touch on issues like that. But it helps us to understand that even though we're opposites, we can be friends and respect each other's views, and actually stretches us.
And I can't imagine how much work goes into writing a book, so it must feel good when it's completed.
Oh, it's awesome. When you hold the book in your hand for the first time, it's like holding your baby for the first time, and you're pushing it out of the nest, so you're really giving up some of yourself. But it's a big thrill, and I hope to do it again.
So, as an author, what kind of challenges do you feel when you're writing?
Well, first of all, there's that thing where if you write a certain situation, because we all write out of our experiences in life.
Right.
So be careful if you're friends with an author. You never know when you might show up
show
on
up in a book.
But focus is difficult because life gets in the way, and you're kind of your own boss, so you can take the day off if you want, but then you got to pay for it the next day. And just learning as you write, you learn the things that you want to share. You may not even know when you start with the outline of a book where you want to go with it. And also a critique group's very important. I want to thank my critique partners, Frank Hopkins and Carrie Horner. Yeah. They're also local authors that were very good in helping me get through this with minimal edits.
Awesome. Most important question of the day. Yeah. Where can we get it?
You can get it at Amazon, of course, that big place in the sky, but more importantly, our local bookstores around here, the Greyhound Bookstore in Berlin, Bethany Beach Books in Bethany Beach, Delaware, and Browse About Books up in Rehoboth have been great in supporting me and the other local authors.
The perfect thing to do for National Book Lovers Day.
Hey,
Indeed.
That's exciting.
So there you go.
Absolute. Book clubs as well are loving the book. So if you have a book club, get up with me. I'll see if I can attend. I'd love to.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Author
Awesome.
Diana McDonough, wonderful talking to
Jimmy.
you. Don't miss your opportunity. My Mother's Apprentice, and of course, don't forget Stuck in the Onesies.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kate.